Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of City Skylines and my little town slash city called Dalarby. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. It's Saturday when I'm recording this. I have got myself a little beer in my right hand and I am so thrilled to be recording this little commentary for you guys. So what are we doing this episode? Well, in the recent episode we have been focusing on this entrance of the town. We have been doing the collapse mine, as you know, and also the starting of the central housing, or what you should call it, in the last episode. And we got some space in between that it was left empty, and I thought that we were going to expand that little area today and just filling all the holes before we in the next episode head down to the city center and the downtown area, and also closing up to building the area where I'm living in real life. Now, as I said in the last episode, we did the little suburbs, no, not suburbs because it's almost in town, but the little housing, residential areas, and buildings we are plopping down today is not necessarily like corporate industrial buildings. In my town, in this, we have a lot of these smaller warehouses or industrial buildings, so you could call it, which you can rent as a private person. You know, maybe you are like doing things with cars, you know, car mechanic privately, or just have a gym with your friends or something, you know, whatever. You can rent these industrial buildings and do whatever you want in them, as long as it's legal. So that's like what I had in mind when I did this, and I just want to talk a little about this trick which I snapped up from, I can't remember his name. He doesn't have so many videos on YouTube, but I thought it was super cool idea to complement the cracks with these damaged road props. I think they are vanillas, just to make a little more 3D feeling over the cracked road. Now you might be a little careful with it because it can look a little bit too trashy and thrashy, you know, it might do here, but I really enjoy it. It gives it a lot of life. And it was a little challenge to find buildings for this part as well, because I want kind of a rundown buildings, but not too rundown. I don't want it to look like a ghetto, because it's not like ghetto here, you know. So I just wanted to keep it kind of clean but more messy, because maybe there's some irresponsible people renting the places. But I really like this. It's like edging off from the residential areas up towards the more industrial district, which almost the entire side of the other side of the highway, as you can say if you watched the previous episode, like the side where the mine is, and the mine area, it's going to be a lot of residential, and it's going to be much more industrial, not residential, which I think I said. So a lot of industrial, like over on the top of the city. But this is where the industrial area is edging off towards the residential area. Well, you know, we'll see how it turns out. I think it turned out very, very cool. And also trying to do like vegetation that doesn't look too fairy tale-ish, but it's hard, man. It's hard because you can do so much, and I think I will do a lot of vegetation that might not be so super realistic to how it looks here, but and for you guys that are new here, of course you don't know, this city that I'm building, Dalarby, is very heavily inspired from the town where I live, Falun in Sweden. It's not a replica. It's some stuff are very, very similar to the real life, like the collapse mine that we did, which is almost identical how it looks here. Okay, not identical, but very, very, very similar. So in case you didn't know that, now you know. And you know, and also here I was trying to not go overboard with the detailing, because we have a lot of stuff left to do in the town, and I don't want to be a fool and think that my computer is overpowered, even though it's very good. So I want to take it I want to detail a lot, but not too much. You know probably what I mean. Also, I don't have so much problem with these industrial buildings locating very close to the residential, is because, as said in the beginning, my imagination is that they are privately owned, privately rented from persons. So there's not like a lot of noise and sound. You know, we have a lot of these small areas around and just outside residential areas, and you know. And I hope that the game looks a little better now. At least I think it does. It was very dark the last episode, even though I brightened it up a bit in the post-processing. But now I think I've been mixing a lot with the Real Light mod and eye candy, and also render it, and I think I'm starting to get a hand of things, and I think it looks great actually. So you're just placing down some of these small buildings, you know, working with decals, just detailing the ground a little bit. And as you can see here, we start off. This is the road when you enter the town. You can enter the town in a lot of different ways, but when you enter from the big highway down to the right, maybe you want to gas your car. Fill up your car with gas, you can do that, and then when you enter you have this little car sales stuffly stuff. And I used the vanilla cars, you know, I think they are looking pretty good, so I just make the little stack of them, and I delete some of it. And this is basically how the car dealerships look here in my town. Nothing, you know, too fancy. I'm not so superly happy with how the front of this detailed build looks. You will see in just a moment, but I think it will work for now. I wasn't going for any flashy design either. You know, a lot of these car dealerships in my town are kind of, if I'm gonna be honest, kind of ugly. You know, they're often located in a super ugly industrial area, and it's dirty, and you know, the car dealerships in my town isn't the fanciest one. You know, even though they have good cars and everything, like the cars are always the same thing. But yeah, you know, I'm putting down some tire marks, tire scratch marks, and skid marks and stuff to make the ground pop a little more, and a little entrance. Use this fence. Kind of happy with how it looks. Placing down a little parking lot as well. It was a little weird because I'm gonna stop using those, and I need to download the parking lot rows, because for one, they doesn't look that super good, and the cars enters this through the fence, and it's just a mess, you know. And I really like these I don't know, with chain fences, chain link chain link fences. I think it's very subtle, but very cool to use with car dealerships. And we're also going to place down Harley Davidson motorcycle shop there, and I think they suited the style very, very cool there. But we're going to finish off this little car dealership by placing down some flowers, just to don't make it look so plain, you know. Just give it a little more fancy, you know. But we're not giving it too much, you know. We're not giving this much, you know. You have fancy car, Mercedes and stuff, and that will do. And to finish stuff up on the backside, we give it a little car mechanic area, you know. And we all know how car mechanics are. There's tires everywhere, boxes everywhere, tools everywhere, and everything everywhere, you know. So just putting down a lot of tires, a lot of boxes, but try not to go overboard with it. And then a little trash car, maybe something they working on, you know. Finish up with some decals, and then we're going to take care of this little empty space of grass here as well. I don't know if the bear or if it is me that can't talk today, but you know, maybe it's both. I don't know. But give it a little foresty patch, a little overgrown, you know, not so taken care of, you know. And here we go with the Harley Davidson dealership, and also put down a little gas tank at the side. Now we were thinking, well, Bawambaa, isn't it very close to the last gas station that you put down? Yes, it is. But as I said in that episode, this is very common here in Falun, in Sweden, that we have like 2 gas stations in just a couple of 100 meters apart. You know, it's not very uncommon. It's actually very common, especially for being such a small town that I lived in. Decided to expand the Harley Davidson shop with some garage, and also a little, well, I guess you can call it some kind of garage as well. And this, I was actually think I really should have tried to get that awning cool, because now when I look at it afterwards, I think it looked pretty cool. But we might do something cool in the future with that, because it had kind of the same colors and style, and I think this was really cool. And this is what I was talking about. You see how that really fits the design of that store with the chain fence, or what it was called, I don't really remember. And also I found these new birch trees on the workshop, which was really cool, because I've been looking for... I remember when I played back in the days, birch trees was the only thing that I didn't feel like there was something that looked very good, but I finally found one, and that's cool, because it's something we have a lot of in here. it's birch trees, almost only birch and oak. But as I said, this town is only inspired, so we have a little other kind of vegetation in this town particularly. Finishing off with some vegetation as always, and we're also going to do some little things with that garage area there, and stuff. But first, more vegetation, and some more dry grass decals. I think I really like the dry grass decals. And just keeping it very simple, not doing too much detailing here in the front. Try to keep the area open, maybe you can go out, you can try a little motorcycle, maybe do burnout. Probably the store owner will be very pissed, but some people are like that. And now placing down some old cars and finishing up with the vegetation and the detailing on the back of the store. The last thing we are going to do in this episode is that we're going to expand the residential area we did work on the last episode just a little bit here on the end. As you can see here, we start off. It's basically the same type of design that I've been going for. Trying out some different building, but ended up using almost the exact same buildings as at the rest of the residential area downwards. We're gonna do a little park behind here, and that kind of stuff. And then we're gonna, in the end of the episode, I will do a little walking path towards the highway. Don't mind how that looks. It's just kind of a placeholder of how it's going to look in the future, because I think it was a little too much work to just start it in this episode, because this episode is already over 20 minutes long. So I don't think that we could have had time for it, but it would be a little I would do it in a hurry, so it wouldn't be so cool. But this is kind of where that road ends up on the highway, and it's the last part of the residential areas. In this direction, it's going to be bigger in another direction, but closing things off with a little wooden fence, and inside here we're going to do a cozy little playground for the kids and maybe for the adults as well. And we're placing these gates to get in, and I think it looks really cool. But this is the last thing we are going to do today, and I hope that you are enjoying this little series. I'm going to leave you with some music in just a moment, and you can wait for the time lapse. No, the time lapse, the cinematics, guys. But anyways, if you enjoyed this episode, please hit the like button and subscribe if you don't want to miss out the future episode, and hit the bell if you want to be notified when I upload. And you know the drill. But I hope you enjoy this episode of Dalarby, and I hope you will be back in the future and continue watching this little project and yeah, that kind of stuff. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna have myself another beer or continue the one that I started before this commentary. But I hope that you will have a fantastic weekend now, and I hope to see you all in the next time. So until then, be nice to each other and take care of each other, and we'll see each other then. Bawambaa's out.